It was just a lot of not knowing what's going to happen. You know, we're waiting on the subjectivity, basically, where the coaches are going to kind of decide who's on the team despite the numbers they've posted. Alyssa was seated like 6th on the list, but it didn't really guarantee that she's going to get on the team. It was challenging. It was challenging because, you know, we saw some other people had been kicked off the team who had higher totals or weren't selected. So there was just a lot of anxiety and nerves, and then being concerned that if she didn't get on the team, it would kind of affect an American Open performance after the fact in a real negative way.
I got the call about in the morning time, right when I woke up, so they were early risers as well, and I saw Puros Dimos' name on my phone, and I started getting nervous and shaky, and immediately like kind of started getting like the jitterbugs, and as soon as I answered the phone, he was like, first thing he says to me, he doesn't say hi, he just goes, "What are your goals for Worlds?" And I was like, well, and confidently, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I said, I would like to get 82 and 100, or even higher in the snatch if possible, and as well as the clean and jerk. And after I told him my goals, he goes, okay, you're on the team, you're on the team. So I started laughing, and I just almost started crying, and then I got off the phone and held myself together, and then right when I got off the phone, my boyfriend gave me a hug. I just started crying. So it was definitely one of the most, it was really relaxing too, because I had to wait so long. So it was really, it was a really good feeling to get that call.
And as a coach, it was really cool to be in a room with a bunch of people that were, you know, at the top of their game. So I was excited. I think I was really like anticipating it. And getting ready mentally for the idea that like, hey, we're going to be at like this very legit competition. Things are a little bit different. The pace is different. There was a lot of anxiety about like what's going to happen on your opener, because, you know, it's like any meet, you never know, especially after a weight cut, how someone's going to perform. So leading up to that, it was just like you're kind of every minute it gets closer to the opening lift, you're getting a little more anxious about it.
In the back room, I actually didn't feel that nervous in the back room. It was more so right when I stepped out on stage, and the lights, I didn't get a chance to actually be on the stage like I would at Nationals or American Open to check out the stage, check out where I'm gonna look. I actually stepped on the stage, and the light was just so bright in my eyes, and I realized I don't know where to look, so I panicked, and I just picked a spot really quick, because I usually don't use the whole clock when I'm lifting. So I don't know, I just really wasn't nervous in the back. I was more nervous at Nationals and AO, to be quite honest, but at Worlds I was less nervous. I don't know why, in the back, but when I stepped on stage I was more nervous.
You know, Alyssa has a really good competitive mindset, and so like going into this, she had the same kind of behavior she was before Pan Ams, before Nationals. She was definitely, I would say, more confident going into this meet than she had been. I mean, even a year ago was not as confident as she is going into this one. But she definitely put on a focus, I think, for this meet that was a little bit more intense than the other ones. So I was really confident in that, and it made me feel better about it, you know, going into it as a coach.
To miss my opener at Worlds, gosh, the first thing I thought of is my boyfriend's here, and he's traveled a long way, and he always sees me in practice, and I'm ready to show him who the Alyssa is on stage versus in practice. I figured also everyone's here to watch me. I really want to put on a good performance for them, and I also thought, like, pull it together. You've been training for this for so stinking long. Like, now's not the time to fail lifts. You've failed plenty of lifts in practice. Now's the time to make the lifts and show people how good you are. Time to show USAW that you're meant to be on the world team.
The first thought I had was I was nervous, because to be totally honest, the perspective you're sitting at from behind the lifter back there, behind the lifter and way down low under the stage, you don't really have a great sense of what the lift is looking like from the front. So when she pressed it out and caught overhead, I was really scared that she might have been really negatively affected by the weight cut. And I started to worry that she might be too weak to make more lifts. And so I got really nervous there, and I was like totally unsure, like, okay, is she weak? Is she, why would you press it out that bad? Because it's a super lightweight for her. On the second attempt, I knew for sure it was just a nerves thing. She just looked really nervous. There's a lot going on in the back room, and I think that was all just too many mouths, too many people talking, too much stuff kind of coming at her at once, too much information. And, it was more like she just had to calm down and know that it's a lightweight. But her second attempt really showed me that she was very strong. My thoughts going in were, one, a lot of countries aren't there, so the numbers are going to be a little bit higher, or you're going to be able to place higher. And two, everyone thinks the same as you, that, oh, the best aren't here. Anyone that's close to the top, and the closer to the top you get, the more aggressive people are going to be. Knowing that, it always comes down to, do we play the aggressive game or do we play the conservative game? And I felt like playing a conservative game and trying to make lifts is going to be a much better strategy. So going from 75 to 78 was really just a smart play to get us more points in the snatch.
80. And now we are back to Alyssa Ritchey for her third attempt.
And she's made, I believe, 80 in training, so this is definitely makeable.
77 in competition.
There
now
it is.
78.
That's great. That's a great way to come back after that miss.
That is a great job from Alyssa Ritchey on a 2-to-1 decision.
That's fantastic.
And the clean and jerk, opening a little bit lighter, making sure we're on the board, and then taking the heaviest thing we can to push everybody else ahead of us. So taking 99 was the best move we could do to get her into top 8, which was our plan initially. Had we taken 98, it would have been a bad call because people could have done 99. Taking 100 might have been a little bit too heavy, and then it might have been an issue trying to actually fight for that spot. So, or she might not have even been the first one to take 100. So taking 99 was one of those preemptive, go lighter, push everybody forward kind of moves, and it worked out well.
As I'm catching the cleans, I think, gosh, every time I walk up to that stage, I turn into like a completely different Alyssa. I don't know, I just attack the weights completely different than I would in practice, because in practice I know I can hit those weights multiple times, and I have hit 100 multiple times. So when I went to get the 99, I was like, this is cake, this is easy, I can frickin' do this. But I didn't say frickin' on stage, I said the other word. Oh, shoot!
99 kilos.
So like I said, she's made 100 a number of times in training. Not at 48 kilos, but this is certainly within her ability.
Plus 48 kilos.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Two for two for Alyssa Ritchey. All right. And she's one made lift away from the same string as Andrej of Romania missed their opening snatch, and she's been perfect since. So it'll be at least 100 kilos for her third attempt.
But on the 101, it's time. It's time to hit that number. I'm good enough to hit that number. I've been working hard enough. My legs are strong enough. I feel good. I should be hitting 101. I should be hitting higher than that. But it just didn't happen this time, and that's okay because we still ended up getting a 3-kilo increase in my total. So.
And here's Alyssa Ritchey, third attempt, 101 kilos. Oh! Just a little too much.
My experience there was really cool because it's cool to work with Demos and Gatone again and have a situation where we really put the athlete first and achieving certain things rather than putting this sort of the team first and say, oh, we're just going to take these kind of light attempts for points. It was cool that we were able to really open up and go for numbers that were, that we had in mind. I think that the overall performance she put up was really great and got her a lot of things, and it was a really good building block. I think it's a totally
positive meet and experience for her, and it's a great place to start the next year of training.
When I walked out on stage and I realized I was representing my country was the coolest thing. It was like, I can't stop. When I walked out on stage and they announced my name, it was like the best feeling in the world, because as a little girl, I always wanted to be like an Olympic gymnast or an Olympic track athlete or something, and I ended up living out my dreams from when I was like 7 years old. So the best moment was just walking out there and realizing I did it, and I got to this international level that I wanted to get to, and that it's only my first year doing this, and I'm standing with these girls that have been doing it for 6 to 10 years, and I'm just as good as them. I can hang right with them. So that was probably one of the most memorable moments, just being on that stage, just being there, putting in the time and hard work. I literally almost cried when I walked out on the stage. I was like, do not cry now, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna be like all flustered for your opener. And I was like, don't cry, don't cry. So it was like the hardest, it was so cool. It was probably one of the most magical moments I've ever experienced.
And whose voice do you hear the most when you walk out?
Yours! Come on, Alyssa! Legs, legs, legs! Definitely yours. I also heard Joe. It's like, legs, legs, come on, get on! Hold it, get it up, get it up! That's definitely the two voices I always hear.